Hello, I'm Amanda from the AfA Macaque Coalition. This International Macaque Week, we are bringing you a series of short anecdotes from macaque people all over the world, all about macaques. Stay tuned for today's episode.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this special episode of the AfA podcast. My name is Lauren, I'm the lead coordinator for the Asia for Animals Coalition, and today we're going to talk about macaques. This week we are celebrating International Macaque Week, and we have a lot to share with you. Originally created by Barbary Macaque Awareness and Conservation, this year the AfA Macaque Coalition is helping to coordinate and reinvigorate International Macaque Week. Over the coming days, the Macaque Coalition will feature personal and positive stories about macaques from a variety of macaque people via short podcast episodes. The International Macaque Week website showcases macaque activities and information, and you can access all of this on International Macaque Week's social media pages and websites. This podcast episode is part of AFA's recently launched project called One Life. One Life was actually originally developed by Dave Neal, the Global Director of Animal Sentience and Welfare for Animals Asia, and has been delivered via Animals Asia's education programs in China and Vietnam with great success for a number of years. In one of our previous podcast episodes, Dave presents One Life in more details. One Life has now come under the Asia for Animals Coalition's wing. It is a database of education resources which NGOs can use to promote concepts of animal sentience. The idea is that any organization can use the presentations and articles as templates and scripts to deliver educational talks in schools or communities, for example, which in turn will help people understand the ways in which animals share many cognitive and emotional abilities as well as needs with humans, and therefore why they deserve our respect and protection. We're very excited to extend all of this material to these podcast episodes as well, so that anyone can learn more about the animal and their sentience. But not everyone might be familiar with the concept of sentience. Sentience is the ability for individuals to experience sensations and emotions, such as pain, joy, fear, or grief. Humans are sentient beings, and One Life delves into the sentience of animals. Animal sentience is more and more acknowledged on the scientific and also on the political scene, with over 30 countries in the world such as Spain, Sweden, Tanzania, New Zealand or the UK recognizing animals as sentient beings. In this episode, and to celebrate International Macaque Week, we're going to learn more about macaques and their sentience. So macaques are the most widely distributed non-human primates on Earth, ranging from Japan to the Indian subcontinent, North Africa, and Southern Europe. Behavioral research has revealed that macaques are socially, emotionally, and cognitively complex animals. And together in this episode today, we're going to delve into the social life of macaques, their emotions, their cognitive abilities, as well as understanding the way they communicate, use tools, and the threats that they face. So macaques are social beings, and they form strong family bonds, and they maintain these bonds through mutual grooming. Family groups include grandmothers, mothers, and their infants. Female relationships are particularly strong, and females are likely to stay in their family groups and develop and maintain a lifelong bond with their mothers. Due to these strong bonds and friendships, individuals have developed the ability to understand the emotional state of their fellow macaques, understanding when others are happy, sad, or angry. They experience positive emotions when grooming, playing, finding food, and in social contact with each other. Macaques can also experience negative emotions. For example, following the death of a family member, research has shown what appears to be an understanding of loss. Living within a large family and having strong social ties even helps individuals live longer, increase their access to food through information sharing, and engage in cooperative defense against non-group members. The more friendships and social connections an individual macaque also has a positive influence on parts of the brain responsible for social decision-making and empathy. Macaques even modify their body movements to be in tune with others. It's something that we humans do all the time, but subconsciously. For example, we sometimes adapt our pace to walk in step or clap in unison at the end of a concert. and this phenomenon is thought to reflect bonding and facilitate positive interactions between individuals. While social networks are key to an individual macaque's survival, female macaques actively reduce the size of their networks over time, initiating fewer interactions with group mates and focusing their time and efforts on family members and friends with whom they share a particularly strong and stable bond. And this could be an evolutionary strategy to reduce the risk of illness as they age by associating with less individuals. So now let's have a look at motherhood. Macaques also make great mums, caring for their babies and teaching them how to find food, how to stay safe, and how to live within the family group. Female relationships are particularly important, and a macaque and her daughter may stay in close contact with each other for their entire lives. In the first months of life, their interaction resemble very much human-baby interactions, exaggerating their gestures, frequent kissing, and sustained mutual gazes. Mother macaques and their babies spend more time gazing at each other than at any monkeys in a social group, and mothers affectionately smack their lips at their infants, a gesture that the infant often imitates back to their mothers, demonstrating a mutual appreciation of each other's intentions and emotions. Macaque mothers also have been observed actively searching for their infant's gaze, sometimes holding the infant's head and gently pulling it towards her face, or lowering her head and bouncing it in front of the youngster. These are exchanges that are frequently observed between human mothers and their babies. The health and welfare of macaque mothers is also known to have a profound effect on the development, behavior, and welfare of their babies. Mothers that experience stress, anxiety, or depression whilst pregnant are known to produce offspring that are at risk of abnormal development and behavioral problems. Female close to macaque mothers also develop strong bonds with the infants. This practice of spending time with another female's infant is called aunting. Females engaging in aunting may groom the mum more intensely when she has her baby as a way to get close and spend time with the infant. This also allows the mother to feed and groom with other members of the group. This practice will also have a direct influence on the female's individual ability to successfully raise infants in the future, learning vital skills that they can use when they are mothers themselves. So now let's have a look at macaque communication. So living socially requires macaques to be able to communicate their intentions and emotions to others within and outside of their social networks, and macaques use an array of vocal, visual, and tactile means to achieve this. Macaques coo to maintain contact while foraging and during friendly interactions. They vocalize throughout the day to inform others in their family groups about what is happening around them. Infants coo when they want contact from the mothers, and females do so when they are receptive to mating. Japanese macaques are even known to have regional dialects based on where they live. The coo calls to maintain social contact between individuals are uttered at different frequencies by macaque populations that live in separate locations many miles apart. Macaques also communicate visually via facial expressions, body postures, and gestures. These indicate their physical well-being, emotions, intentions, and motivations to others in their group, allowing them to adjust their behavior accordingly if necessary to the situation. Part of macaques' facial expressions is the fear grimace, where macaques retract their lips and expose their clenched teeth. In the wild, this facial expression is displayed to reduce aggression during encounters. Macaques also have a threat expression, which is a stare accompanied by the mouth being open with the teeth covered. Macaques may also lip smack, protruding their lips and then smacking them together repeatedly. For rhesus macaques, for example, this is used by males to invite a female to mate, but there are other situations where lip smacking is used as well. The facial expressions are not the only ways for macaques to communicate. They may use their tail as an indicator of submission or aggressive confidence. And macaques also use intentional gestures to communicate their needs and wants to other macaques. For example, begging gestures may influence other macaques to provide individuals with hidden food items. Macaques groom each other to remove small insects and parasites, and this grooming is a major communication tool, a social activity, and a means by which macaques bond and reinforce social structures, family links, build relationships, and reduce tension and stress. Social grooming is also used as a form of reconciliation and a means of conflict resolution in some species. So let's have a look at macaque emotions. As well as being socially complex, macaques are emotionally complex individuals too. They like to have fun, playing with each other, which helps them to learn essential life skills and develop their social relationships in a fun way. Young macaques enjoy wrestling, chasing, rough and tumble play, and they have specific facial expressions and postures associated with initiating and maintaining play. But as well as experiencing these positive emotions, macaques can also show signs of depression when their fundamental needs are not being met. Individuals forced to live within an unstimulating environment will shy away from their group members, lose their appetite, and adopt a hunched posture. These are all behavioral signs recognized in humans suffering from depression. As social animals, they establish strong emotional bonds, and the loss of one key individual in somebody's social circle can also have a psychological and emotional consequence for another. Macaques also have an understanding of when they are not being treated fairly. Research has shown that they can express their disappointment if they are given a lesser reward if a greater reward is also in sight, having a sense of social disappointment with a human caregiver that they trust. In addition to their social and emotional complexity, macaques are cognitively complex animals. They are in fact metacognitive, being able to plan, monitor, evaluate, and make changes to their own learning. They have even shown in behavioral experiments declare uncertainty about their memory in order to gain hints from an experimenter of what to do on the first trial of a new task. Rhesus macaques have also passed uncertainty monitoring task testing, where an individual knew when they did not know the answer to a set task. This suggests that macaques are aware of their own uncertainty when faced with a difficult choice. In summary, macaques have doubts, and they recognize those doubts. Macaques can also add symbols together and have an understanding that multiple symbols that hold value hold more when combined. Macaques can also understand the magnitude of ratios, being able to learn to compare proportions in behavioral experiments. They can also learn a basic understanding of economics, with macaques living in areas frequented by tourists understanding the value of items to people, and thus stealing and only releasing high-value items after receiving food they perceive to be of corresponding value. Macaques also have excellent memories. Rhesus macaques can flexibly recall simple shapes from memory, as evidenced by their ability to reproduce those shapes on a computer touchscreen. The ability of macaques to recall these shapes flexibly suggests that they are able to recollect other types of information that would be useful to them in the wild, such as the appearance of individuals they know, what favorite foods look like, or the path that they would have to take to get to a water source. Rhesus macaques also have demonstrated prospective memories, a form of memory that involves remembering to perform a planned action or recall a planned intention at some future point in time. Prospective memory tasks are common in our daily life. For example, remembering to perform certain procedures while driving our cars, or remembering to take medication at certain times in our day. So macaques also have this memory capacity. Macaques are also tool users, using tools to get to food. Burmese long-tail macaques on the islands of Piak Nam Yai and Tao In Lem Son National Park, Thailand, use stone and shell tools to crack open seafood. So while the tide is out, the macaques use their tools to break open oysters attached to large boulders. They dislodge the top half of the shell using their crushing tool and then scoop out the meat with their fingers from the remaining parts still attached to the rock. Once a macaque has a good stone fit for the job, they keep it to crack open other shells or nuts before discarding their tools around the same boulders where they have enjoyed their meal. These macaques have developed specific tool-using skills to access specific foods and a variety of different techniques to make their tool use as profitable as possible. Subsequently, they pass on these techniques to other members of their family through a process of social learning. On the Japanese island of Koshima, a group of Japanese macaques have also been observed doing something that has never been seen before. These macaques have been studied since the 1950s and have been fed by researchers during the study periods. One day, a young female macaque named Imo was observed dipping sweet potatoes in a nearby river before eating it, and observers concluded that her reason was simple and entirely reasonable. She saw sand on the potatoes and wanted to wash it off. Young macaques watched their elder family members and have subsequently learned this behavior too. Evidently, this monkey family had discovered the joys of eating clean potatoes. Over the next few years, research staff observed this new behavior spread through the entire macaque colony, and within a decade, every capable macaque on the island was washing potatoes. But it was not only the technique of potato washing that the monkeys learned. At some point, Imo discovered a second trick to make her potato consumption more pleasurable. By dipping her potatoes in the ocean instead of the river, the salt water would season the potato and make it taste better. And after each bite, she would dip the freshly exposed section of the potato back into the sea to enhance its flavor. The same group of macaques also learned to wash the sand off grains of wheat by throwing them into the ocean to clean them, and with these new habits also spreading quickly through the macaque community. Long-tail macaques in Lopburi, Thailand, have been observed to use human hair as a tool as if it were dental floss. This behavior is seen mainly in a large group of macaques that live at the old Buddhist shrine of Prang Somyot. Many monkeys of this group take hair and sort a few pieces to make a string, and then floss their teeth by pulling it tightly with right and left hands alternatively between their teeth. This habit is not seen in the other nearby localities and is rare even in the surrounding groups. This behavior could be considered a newly occurring cultural behavior. These skills are thus passed culturally, with young macaques watching their elder family members and learning how to obtain food and how to behave in social settings. Unfortunately, many macaques suffer due to humans using them for entertainment and research. Thousands of macaques continue to be used in circuses, forced through fear and punishment into performing meaningless tricks for entertainment. Many more are housed in poor quality conditions within zoos or kept as pets in people's homes, often being further abused to share content via social media platforms. These individuals often spend extensive amounts of time chained and in social isolation, causing them a significant amount of stress and suffering. Because of their anatomical and physiological closeness to humans, the relative ease at which they can be maintained and bred in captivity, and the available supply from the wild, macaques have long been the non-human primate of choice on which to conduct research on human and animal health-related topics. Most of this research is invasive and is likely to cause a significant amount of pain and suffering to the individuals involved. Many species of macaques are also under threat due to habitat loss and degradation, as well as hunting for the bushmeat trade, the pet trade, and to supply animals to research facilities. Many species are listed as endangered or vulnerable, but there are also species that are critically endangered. For example, the black-crested macaque and Pagai Island macaque are critically endangered and at the most severe risk of going extinct. We can all play a role in helping macaques, whether through educating ourselves and others on their threats and how to avoid engaging in behaviors that could cause macaque suffering, such as not visiting places where macaques are abused, not buying products that negatively impact macaques' welfare or habitats, refraining from engaging in any way on social media content that features macaques as pets, volunteering or supporting macaque projects, just to name a few. If you want to learn more about macaques and how you can make an impact for them too, you can visit the Macaque Coalition website at www.macaquecoalition.com. We also have a working group focusing on online animal cruelty content, and a lot of reports that we get are videos of macaques kept as pets. So you can visit the Social Media Animal Cruelty Coalition's website to ensure that we all adopt responsible behaviors when using social media, such as never watching these videos, nor sharing, commenting, or engaging in any way with such content. So this concludes our episode dedicated to macaques in honor of International Macaque Week. This year's theme of International Macaque Week is macaque positivity. So make sure to visit the International Macaque Week social media pages and website for loads of information about macaques, heartwarming stories, facts, activities, and much more. We also have other podcast episodes focusing on macaques, so if you love macaques as much as we do, there's always more for you to learn.
Whether it's sharing a post on social media, organizing a fundraiser, or simply learning more about macaques, every little bit helps. So let's unite to raise awareness and empathy for macaques globally. International Macaque Week.